Steve Frankfurt is 33 and a top executive in one of America's leading international advertising agencies. In the course of a year, he spends millions of his clients' dollars. Called in once to give an overnight facelift to a tottering airline, he demanded a budget of $6 million and spent the bulk of it in a week on press, radio, and TV advertising. Within 2 days, the airline was carrying 8% more passengers. His wife, Susie, is a designer. She's responsible for the unusual decor of their home. She also did the interior decoration for the 25-story skyscraper occupied by her husband's agency. Susie works when she feels like it. Steve loves every high-pressure minute of his job. At work, he takes dozens of irrevocable decisions a day. At home, he tends to let Susie decide for him. If there's one thing he'd rather be than an ad man, it's a composer.
I guess there's probably no more overworked statement than the criticism that advertising sells people things that they don't really need. Well, I, as one person working in advertising, plead guilty. Advertising does sell people things they don't need. Things like television sets, automobiles, ketchup, mattresses, cosmetics, ranges, refrigerators, and on and on and on. People don't really need these things. But people don't really need art, or music, or literature, or newspapers, or historians, or wheels, or calendars, or philosophies, or for that matter, critics of advertising either. All people really need is a cave, a piece of meat, and possibly a fire. All you need in New York for a parade is for somebody to drop his handkerchief. And on St. Patrick's Day, it's a very large handkerchief. They put the parade right smack in the middle of New York, right up Fifth Avenue, and it really doesn't make any difference, you know, who gets in the way. That parade rolls and starts at 40th Street and rolls up to 86th Street, and anything that gets in the way gets run over. It's fun. It's part of New York. It is New York.
Everybody was there.
Oh, everybody's Irish today.
Oh, I know.
What's on this afternoon?
You have an art programming meeting on spaghetti. John LePic wants to see you on Chrysler, and a new business presentation.
I want you to start the first one.
Got some wild stuff, Steve.
This is Chrysler?
Wild, come on.
Is it the international stuff?
Yeah, Simca stuff. Great. Let me see.
When do you present this?
Next week, but I want to get you while I can. You want to shoot it in Paris, be wild. You open up on a scene, long road, truck comes forward.
This is the Simca.
Simca, yeah. But we don't tip our hand till the very end. This truck comes up and we hear the sounds of two Frenchmen singing. Loud enough. Thing goes past you, away from it. Title to market, like a movie, you know.
Oh, this is a series. Each film will be a movie.
Yeah, you know, we don't tip our hand. They don't know it's even a commercial.
Yeah.
And inside the cab of this truck, you see these two Frenchmen, one with a cigarette dangling from his mouth, the other one's a gregarious. He talks real fast. He says, hey, he looks outside the car and he sees something. And then we see a Brigitte Bardot gal riding a bicycle right on the side of the truck, you know, and they go, hey, c'est les mères sont intelligentes, and she goes, back, you know. And then we pass and we see a nun, and she's leading this little troop of girls, you know, from the school, and they're going along, and they wave to the cab, and they go, and they, you know,
Madeline.
Yeah, you hear bells ringing, you know, only the French bells.
People?
Yeah. And he gets out of a cab, and they're all excitement. They all gather around this truck, you see. These two guys get out, one goes around the other side of the truck, and they open this thing up, and out of the back of the truck comes a multitude of Simcas, like midgets in a little auto. They keep coming out, the never-ending chain, you know, and they can vroom, vroom, and the music comes back. Dun, 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 you fade out.
Oh, I think it's wonderful. I feel that when we take on an account, we look very carefully at the products, the people we're dealing with, and for the most part, we're pretty darn sure about the positive aspects of, the ethical positive aspects of the people, the product, certainly.
The thing that is important is the question of how do we get out of this mess, this tremendous avalanche of propositions that have been thrown at the consumer. Well, if this is the climate, excuse me.
Coffee was interrupted me. What were you saying?
I was saying that if the climate of our business is such that the public is being snowed or inundated with a great many things, then it behooves all of us, client and agency, to be absolutely certain that under no circumstance does our material look like anybody else's.
The fastest way to kill a bad product is to run a lot of good advertising for it, because you'll get everybody to try it once and they will never come back. And we feel that that style is something that must grow out of.
Well, don't you just said that the style comes out of the product. Don't you fellows often have to create that style for your client?
It used to take 20 years before a guy would copy an idea, product idea, promotion idea.
An advertising.
Or an advertising idea. And what's happened since then is that the time between innovation and imitation is collapsing. All about us. And it's down to some 3 weeks in some of the categories in which we do business. Well, what do we do about it? It's not easy. I'll tell you what, this is a matter of, do we have 13 geniuses here and the other agencies only have 9? That means we have a few more geniuses. Is this the solution? No, it isn't. No, it isn't. What we have to do is to do our homework.
Let's take this ad, Mr. Carpenter. It's kind of, I think it's an interesting one on the subject of taste. Now, here's a photograph. I remember the first time we showed it within the product group, several people threw their hands up in the air and said, "Oh my God, you know, we can't show a baby's bare bottom in a magazine nationally."
Who's the client there, Steve?
All right, this is Park Davis. Park Davis, pharmaceutical company. We're talking to mothers. Simple story. Not so simple, but simply put in this particular advertisement. 20 shots and just 1 ouch. Now, our feeling was that that story, with this kind of an illustration, would get across to a mother quickly, in good taste, and understandably, and persuasively, with impact.
Well, you've been very patient with us, Harry, and now I just wondered if you could take another 17 minutes or 20 minutes and look at some television commercials.
Yeah, good.
Look at them with the same discernment, the same critical eye, and see if you can see the same striving for simplicity, for directness and meaning to the viewer. I hope you can.
Yes,